Okay, so there's actually some things I like about this show, but perhaps it just shouldn't be in the MCU. Hey, what's up, nerd fam? This is your boy. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, I want to talk to you about Miss Marvel, episodes 1 and 2. I wanted to give it a second episode before I said anything about it and really laid into it, I guess. Full disclosure, though, I'm not a huge fan of Miss Marvel at all. I don't really like the character. And to be fair, I'm not really a fan of any derivatives of other characters, meaning someone who takes the name of another. So it's Miss Marvel, the Iron Heart, or even like the Thousand Robins that exists in DC. I'm just not really a fan of those. I feel like it's kind of lazy instead of giving them their own name and their own real identity that's not really attached to someone else's. That's just me. That's my preference. If you like them, that's cool. Not really my type of hero. However, the reason why I'm making this video is also because I want to address something that I've addressed with heroes that I do like, and I don't want to be a hypocrite and not address it, and even if it's a hero that I don't necessarily care about. But there's something about this show that I actually really like, but I think it probably shouldn't be a Miss Marvel show, and I'll get to that in a second. So, matter of fact, I'll start with that. I'll preface it with the bad stuff that I'm gonna say with this. I actually think the strongest part of the show is the chemistry that she has with her family and some of her friends, the history they impart about Pakistan and the history of when India split up. I actually think that's some of the strongest stuff in the show. And the reason why I say maybe it shouldn't be part of the MCU is because I feel like I would actually watch a show following her family and her development that just wasn't in the MCU. And the reason why I say that is because it feels like the Marvel part, the Miss Marvel part, and all that kind of takes a back seat to this. And that is on purpose because they changed how she got her powers to reflect her heritage rather than what it really is in the comics. And I gotta call it like I see it: when you bastardize something, even if they actually have an interesting story as far as her heritage and stuff like that. Like, mind you, I like that, but I would probably not have that in this show because it allows them to bastardize other parts of it. I'm not sure about you, but I would watch a show on Netflix or Disney Plus that was just about a girl from Pakistan trying to make it through high school, and also us having like a view on how her culture deals with different situations that we might not see because we're not in that living room. We're not in the mosque with her, but in hearing these conversations. So I would watch a show separate like that, but it just seems like they're using the Miss Marvel and MCU, I guess, branding to try and get out a certain message and whatever. And I guess it's par for the course these days. And I struggle with that because I feel like they'd probably do that with any other hero. And to be honest, if her character was inherently like the way that she is in the show, I get it. I mean, at least they have her best friends and all that are right from the comic. But as far as her not being an Inhuman, which I don't understand why they didn't do, because in Multiverse of Madness they had a chance to actually bring in Black Bolt, and they're pretty much telling us that if there's a Black Bolt in that universe, there's a Black Bolt in ours. We did have an Inhuman show, which was pretty bad, but they're pretty much kind of canonizing it softly by having Black Bolt in there. So why don't we get a Terrigen Miss? Why isn't she an Inhuman? Because you didn't want to do that. You wanted to make everything focused on her background. And it's like, okay. I mean, to be honest, there's actually another character that's similar that does deal with being of Islamic faith and Arabic background, and her name is Dust. There's actually an X-Men. Her story is actually pretty awesome, and I actually kind of prefer that. I like that character, but whatever. My main issue, to be honest, with this show, obviously besides like the bastardization of certain things, which like I said, I want to be consistent about, is the weird continuity stuff, right? And that seems to also be par for the course when it comes to these shows on Disney Plus. So it's really just the first and foremost, and really the big thing is Captain Marvel. How they have to characterize Captain Marvel and even her relationship with Captain Marvel in order for this to make sense. In the comic, Captain Marvel's around. You see her. Like, she's in the Avengers. People are familiar with her. But in this universe, she's actually the most, in the MCU, I mean, is the most distant one. So let's just do a quick little rundown here. When she first appears in the Captain Marvel movie, right, that's in the 90s. This girl wasn't alive, right? She just wasn't, right? And she hadn't been on Earth for close to 20-something years, right? And then you have Nick Fury having to page her back in Infinity War. So let's just say that's a big, long gap of no one seeing her in the public eye. When she does come back, half the universe is gone. Especially even when she puts, Thanos in the headlock and they kill him that first time, nobody saw that. I don't think that was even on Earth. I think it might have been on Titan, I believe, right? Then when the other Thanos comes and they have that big battle and she flies through Thanos' ship, no one was there to see that because everyone hadn't come back yet. They hadn't reversed everything, the reverse of snap yet. So no one saw that battle. So her giving the play-by-play is weird because it wasn't like they recorded it. So where would she have developed this fandom from someone who's not really here? I mean, even the person who's very close to her, and Monica Rambeau, has not seen her in who knows how long, has no idea where she is. So how did this person develop a fandom from someone who no one even sees? Even the Avengers don't even know where she is. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I think perhaps if, Captain Marvel was more on Earth, or they started showing her, like, honestly, a quick fix. Let's just say she was on Earth for a while. She came down here and they showed her develop it. I get it. But she was literally talking about past events from the other movies that most people didn't see, or I think not really anyone, because no one was really around. Half the universe was gone. The Earth was pretty much barren at that point. So, yeah, that's kind of a weird thing for me. That kind of takes me out of it because it's like the fandom is kind of unwarranted because, once again, Captain Marvel is not present. Hopefully I made that clear. Besides this, tonally, I get it. It's for like a certain age group. Kind of feels like a little like a tween show. And I guess I get it, but not really for me as far as that. I'm watching it to see what they're gonna really bring into it. But that's about it. I mean, I'm thinking probably Monica Rambeau is going to show up at some point. They're going to get ready for the Marvels, and probably Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is going to show up eventually. I think it's also weird that I get that there's cultural differences when it comes to the parents and how they deal with things. But it's kind of weird that they admonished her for looking up to heroes. Because it's not like these are like the Avengers or people who are fictional. Like, when we have Comic-Con in real life, obviously these are just comic book characters. But in their world, they're heroes who literally fought and died to save them. So her like admonishing them, like, you want to be this, and why would you want to be like them? It's like, these are real heroes. Mind you, you actually have the power to be able to affect change, and you haven't done that. Now, obviously, there's going to be some type of family discovery we're going to see here, but I don't think you should be really admonishing your daughter for looking up to actual heroes who help save the planet and possibly bring you back, because we don't know, from being dusted, or maybe your family members. It kind of seems like a weird thing, but whatever. Maybe they're trying to point to like this, the staunch, unrelenting, I guess, kind of conservative behavior that a lot of certain cultures tend to have towards their children, just not fitting into whatever box that they want them to be in. And I get that. I do. I just think it kind of goes beyond logic here. And that's it. It's only 2 episodes. Not really much to say. Like I said, the family aspect and stuff like that, and the culture aspects, I dig, but I probably would have a whole other show, or make a whole separate hero that's not Miss Marvel, especially if you're not going to even bother to use all of the characters, specifically what her actual origin is. Let me know if that makes any sense. Write in the comments if you agree, disagree. Let's have that conversation. Until then, enter the nerd.